I think that the residents certainly believe it. I mean, you hear time and time again when residents speak of, and listen, I take a lot of my opinions from knocking on doors. And when I knock on a door, I haven't met one resident that doesn't feel that way. But here's the question, and I feel like a lot of times residents are gaslit on this issue because there's not a clear understanding of what's going on. The county commission has to follow the law, and it's state law of how those funds are utilized. And that's been the historic way those funds are utilized. That's why the funds were started. It was originally one of the biggest projects, the first projects in the 1970s was to build the convention center. And that has a huge $4 billion impact on our economy a year, which is, if you think about it, I mean, that's $20 turns into $4,000. I mean, that's a good impact. But the question is, should these fees be utilized? Should these taxes be utilized for our infrastructure crisis and our housing crisis? I think that the residents are very clear that they want to see that. So this is a Tallahassee issue. When Tallahassee is going to go ahead and address this issue and decide, if they do, that there needs to be a change, well, then my job as a commissioner, I would think, is to be a liaison for our people and all of our stakeholders, including the I-Drive corridor, for example. We need to be working with them and CFHLA and all these organizations to come to the table with our residents who have spoken, I think, and say, listen, this is what we want to see. This is how we want to do it. What can we do to make this possible so that we don't have a negative effect on our economy, but at the same time, we're getting what seems to be a majority of people want. So that's what I believe needs to happen, is that as soon as Tallahassee is, when they decide, that's your state reps and your state senators, you could go ahead and talk to them about it. But when they decide to do that, if they decide to do that, you better believe I'm going to be at the table because it's critical we get it right. In the meantime, I'm going to follow the law.